Hi, I'm Stan Goldstein with Kates-Boylston. We have a new addition to our team, and let's meet him. Trevor Eccleston has joined Kates-Boylston as a National Accounts Manager. Trevor, I understand you live in Orlando, Florida. Tell us where you grew up and how you ended up in Orlando.
Hi, good afternoon, Stan, and thank you so much for having me today. I'm really excited to be a part of the Kates-Boylston team. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. I, I was born and raised there, and I lived there for close to 30 years. I'm a graduate of the University of Illinois in Champaign, and I started uh, back in the newspaper industry back in the early 90s with the Chicago Tribune. And so worked for a couple of major newspapers throughout my career. After spending a couple of years at the Chicago Tribune, uh, I got married and started working for USA Today newspaper and in a circulation capacity. And then eventually I transitioned to the city of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, with my wife and my young son in 2000, and started working for the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, back in advertising. And then my career took a little bit of a detour as the newspaper industry started to be impacted by the changes in the economy. And I got into movie theater advertising. And so I did that for close to 10 years. And then after that, my wife and I decided that we were really tired of Midwest winters. And so we decided to transition to Orlando, Florida, and I kind of started all over. And so I found kind of in my career path of working with newspaper companies, and I partnered with the Orlando Sentinel. And then recently, the opportunity with Kates-Boylston came about, and decided to that it was a better fit for my skill set and my background. And I'm excited for the opportunity that I have, and the future that I'll have going forward.
Great. And I should have said in the beginning, welcome to our team. Welcome to Kates-Boylston. And my next question, you answered a lot of it already. It was, what's your advertising background? So let me ask this: what do you enjoy about, I guess, selling advertising and being on that end? I was always on the news end as a writer, and I always appreciated what the advertising people did, how hard they worked to get accounts. So what do you enjoy about that?
It's the relationships. I have the pleasure, and all of the companies that I've worked for, it's working, with business owners and having a creative way to bridge that business's message to the audiences that they're attempting to attract. And so, when I started, working in advertising, I worked with restaurant accounts, I worked with casinos, I worked with entertainment venues. And to me, that was always exciting, because that was kind of the closest way that you could get to the entertainment industry while still maintaining a connection, obviously, with your local business, but also having an impact on what made that business successful. But it was always the relationships and the lessons that I learned from the folks that I had an opportunity to work with, which was always, and still to this day, the fuel that kind of drives me about advertising. And I see some of those similar relationships and partnerships and the things that I've learned. I see that having a positive impact on my career at Kates-Boylston.
That's great. And how'd you find out about the position with Kates-Boylston, and what interested you in it? And let me just ask this too. You're just talking about, entertainment and casinos. This is funeral service. So what was your first reaction to it? So tell us about how you found out about the position.
Well, I first found out about the position. It's actually kind of a quick funny story. My wife was having a medical procedure done, And while we were waiting for the nurse to come in and visit with us, she and I were kind of sitting there quietly, and I started to just kind of uh, peruse my phone, and the opportunity came across my feed on one of my social media pages, and there was something that really struck me about when I read through kind of the job description for Kates-Boylston. It was actually on the last line of the description, and it said that it was asking for the person to have to be a collaborator, a contributor, and a team player. And to me, that spoke volumes to the type of culture that the company had. And I really saw it aligning with the environment that I wanted to have, um, um, going forward, obviously in my career. So again, while my wife and I were sitting there waiting for her procedure, I casually just submitted my information and was pleasantly surprised when I received an immediate response back. And the rest is kind of history. I'm certainly happy that things move forward in the way that they did.
Yes, yes. Understand they did have a lot of people apply for the position too. So that's great that you stood out. And what are some of your goals with Kates-Boylston? You've been here, what, 2 weeks maybe so far? And so what do you think and what are some of your goals?
Yeah, and this speaks to a little bit of, to your previous question. One thing that I've always embraced, Dan, is an opportunity to learn a new industry and or profession. I've always embraced it with an open mindedness and not a preconceived notion. And so just and that's one of the things that excited me about the partnership with Kates-Boylston was that it is in an industry that I didn't know anything about. And so I knew that it would give me an opportunity to learn, but also in a lot of my different career stops, I've had the opportunity really to kind of learn about customer service and compassion and empathy. And I saw that this is an environment where those characteristics of business owners are really at the highest levels. And so I thought, this is going to really give me an opportunity to learn, to be even more compassionate and to be more empathetic, particularly for people and their families that are going through some of the most difficult periods in their lifetime. And so I'm eager to kind of learn not only the nomenclature, of the profession and the industry, but I'm also eager to kind of learn just what their day-to-day operations look like, and ways that Kates-Boylston can have a positive impact on them reaching the audiences, because all industries now are post COVID are in a phase where many people are kind of transitioning how they utilize their services and or just work efficiently. And so that's one of the things that I want to bring to the table, is to show these business owners and industry professionals just ways that Kates-Boylston is an industry leader, and how we are at the front lines of evolving the way that their information, their products and services are being consumed by the various audiences that they want to attract.
And you partly answered my next question in what you just said, but your thoughts about working with the funeral service industry. That I would think in your career you've never dealt with that before, unless you did sell advertising to funeral homes or something. But so
what? Just in a brief window during my early years in Milwaukee, one of my clients was a major funeral home in the Milwaukee area. but it was, but they were at the time, they were really kind of hands off. I really didn't kind of get into the day-to-day operations. They were primarily just interested in keeping a top of mind brand awareness. And this is before, digital, options like podcasts, um, became more prevalent. And so, and now, the industry is so much more diverse with, with not only with their menu and suite of options that they offer, from cremations, burials, green burials. Now there's so much more, there's so many more options that families can implement when they are looking to celebrate and remember their loved ones. And so for me, being able to kind of share those nuances, within the industry, I think is an exciting time within the profession.
Yes, it is. It is. And will you be on the road going to some conventions? Have they already set you up to go meet? We have quite a few conventions we hit during the year. So is it already on your schedule?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Also one of the things that I'm excited about is the ability to kind of get back to networking in kind of that convention format. I will be attending my first convention will be the NFD and MA convention in Atlanta, Georgia, in the next couple of weeks. I'm certainly looking forward to that. Atlanta's a beautiful city, and we're anticipating a really strong turnout. So it'll really give me an opportunity to kind of place faces with some of the partners that I've had a chance to interview with or meet with virtually, and or over the phone. And then I also will be attending the NFDA conference in September in Las Vegas. That's also another really nice convention from what I've heard from some of my other colleagues. And so I'm really excited, and I'm currently preparing just to be able to handle the the rigors of again of interacting with a variety of different folks in those spaces. I think they're going to be wonderful, and certainly would encourage others to attend if they haven't signed up already.
Yeah, I've done a few myself. The conventions are great. All the people that you deal with on the phone and talk to, there they are. Everybody's right there in person, and it's nice to have those in-person hellos and see them and talk to them. So let's talk about you, Trevor, and your family. Tell us about your family and how long you've been married, those type of things.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a small family, and I kind of come from a small family, but my wife and I just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary last week. So it's been a wonderful milestone for us to achieve. But we have just one son who's recently graduated last year from a college here in Central Florida, Stetson University, and he's currently a graduate student in accounting, preparing to take the CPA exam for here in Florida. So we have a small kind of core network, but we're happy. It keeps us nimble, and so. But in terms of that, activities and hobbies, I'm an avid golfer, and so when we transitioned to Florida from Wisconsin, I knew that my access to golf was going to be expanded. So that's certainly been a welcome fit. But in addition to that, my son was a successful high school soccer player. Mm-hmm. And so by watching him, my wife and I, we got into just watching professional soccer, and I follow the game both domestically and internationally. So I'm looking forward to the upcoming Women's World Cup that'll be taking place later this month. But in addition to that, we also enjoy watching movies and and cooking. And so so those are, those are just some of the activities that I enjoyed, outside of obviously, being in the workplace. Those are the things that kind of ground me.
Right. And you told me in a previous conversation you're still a fan of all the Chicago teams, or most of the Chicago teams, right?
Yeah, I'm a huge sports fan, and I haven't been able to shake my allegiance to the Chicago teams, even though I haven't, lived there in a while. Those habits are hard to break, even during some of the most difficult, seasons that all of us have. Chicagoans, we place a lot of stock into our memories, and so the years of when the Chicago Bears were, prominent, the years when Michael Jordan had a presence in Chicago, those hold extremely. Those are memories we hold very dear and true. So, but yeah, so I'm still a huge fan, and I don't think I'll ever kind of lose those, my ties to Chicago. I still have family there, so I have to, so I ever have to go back. So I have to make sure that I keep those allegiances. My friends won't let me, transition away.
All right, Trevor, very good. Well, welcome to the Kates-Boylston team. I'm looking forward to having you as my coworker, and looking forward to meeting you in person down the line one day. Maybe one of the conventions I'll be at, we'll get to meet. So again, welcome, and thank you for talking to us. And again, any closing words for you before we close up here?
No, I certainly want to thank you, Stan, for having me today, but also want to especially thank a couple of colleagues that were instrumental in me joining the organization. The first one is our publisher, Sophia Galler, and Art Pinardi. Art is retiring, which consequently is the reason that I was awarded the opportunity to come on board. And I did want to just say thank you to the both of them. They've been so welcoming to me, and I'm so excited again for the opportunity to be a part of the organization. I know I've got some strong shoes to fill in coming behind Art, but I'm certainly excited about the opportunity and just working closer with Sophia and yourself, Stan. So thank you all for just giving me the opportunity, and looking forward to some really exciting things coming down the pipeline.
All right, Trevor, that's great. Yeah, and we're looking forward to it too, having you as part of our team. All right, so have a great rest of your day, and we'll be talking a lot, I'm sure, down the line. Take care.
Sounds good, Stan. Thank you very much for having me again.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.